All right, so what we're going to do from this point is, now that we have the 4 text items that we just created stop motion keyframe with, Lindy Hop, Carolina Shag, Boogie Woogie, and Jitterbug, all done in a Photoshop file so it's separate on the timeline with layers, we're going to now go back to our intro timeline and take a look at the intro timeline. Watch it as it plays now on the timeline. Now that we did that on a separate timeline, the dances text, take a look. Now we have Blue Curtain Triangle, the dancers with Lindy Hop, Carolina Shag, and Boogie Woogie and Jitterbug. Boom. And it's looking good. Only we have this very long line of clip at the very end, which we don't need. So we're going to cut that at the end with the cutting tool. We'll grab our blade. We'll cut our clip. We'll go back to selection. We'll grab that dances clip and delete it out of there, hitting the delete button. So now as we look at our timeline, it's pretty tidy. Very nice. It's got a good flow. All right. So with that intro flow that we've got, now it's all timed in. The last thing we need to do is pop on our final text. And our final text is the marquee text. That pops up right as soon as the triangle flips up. But as I'm looking at this, I think I need to massage my text clip, my dances text clip over a bit. That way, when the marquee text flips up, the jitterbug is gone and the other text will fly over the triangle. So, let's see. Chase Domino, where do I want to place that last layer of text so it pops up when the triangle flips up? Where do I want to place that here on the timeline?
On your marker where you marked as it begins to flip up?
Yes, that marker right there. So I'll put my playhead right where that marker's at, and I'm going to find that text. Let's check it here. Is it Swing Dancing Today? It is that. So this whole text we're going to grab and put on the 5th layer. So Tim Gonzalez, why did I put it on the 5th layer?
Because it's all the way in the back.
Well, because it's the furthest to the foreground, right? It's the last item that's going to pop up on screen with everything else behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's most important. So, watch as I play that. Now, I snapped it right where the playhead is. Let's see if the timing of it is good. We're going to move our playhead to the beginning of Blue Curtain. Here we go. The Lindy Hop, Carolina Shag, Boogie Woogie, Jitterbug. Dancers flip up. Swing Dancing Today pops up. Look how good that looks. We got ourselves a solid intro. I would say the only thing I would want to massage in a little bit is I would want the dancers to, instead of just disappear and pop away, and in the beginning just pop up on the screen, I'd rather they soften in. And a way to soften in or dissolve in the dancers is to put a transition at the beginning and the end of the clip. So, Tobiah, what kind of transition would I use to soften them in?
Probably a fade to black.
Well, if it fades to black, then they're going to dip to black, right? I like your idea. Here's that's my effects, by the way. My transitions is the button right next to it. So there's transitions. So if I go to all, what probably would give me a good fade in and a fade out?
Maybe like some sort of curtain fade.
Well, a curtain wouldn't really make it fade in or fade out. It would just block it in after the curtain. How about, I'm going to help you along. How about cross dissolve? Because that's a fade in, fade out filter. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, so we're going to grab cross dissolve and put it at the beginning and the end of Blue Dance Clip. Now watch when I drop it on the clip. It automatically puts one at the beginning and the end of the blue dance clip. Let's see what it looks like, though. Tell me what you think, Chase. So there they were. They were faded in and faded out. What do you think about that?
Oh, that looks good.
It looks good. It looks kind of like they're ghosts, though. So the fade in is a little long in the beginning, a little long at the end, right? Watch them closely. They ghost in, and then they ghost out. So I want that subtle little edge of fade, but I don't want our viewers to notice it. I want it to be very subtle. So what can I do to shorten this? What do you think, Chase? How do I shorten the duration of this?
Just crop it.
Oh, you mean like grab the end of it?
Yeah, and just like pull it.
Yeah, because there's two techniques I could use here. Watch this. I could right-click on it, and that's where you could change its duration, okay? Or I could grab the end of it and shorten it to, like, let's say 10 frames. And I could grab the end and shorten that to, say, 10 frames. So let's play it from the beginning. Now you tell me what it looks like, if it looks smooth. Here we go. Look at the dancers. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a lot better.
It's a lot better. So they barely ghost in and they barely ghost out, and it just softens that edge. This is a technique, friends, that we call dithering. Whether it's video and I'm doing a subtle fade on the edges, or if it's audio and there's a spike of audio noise where audio comes in and you want to dither that edge of audio so it just kind of blends in and blends out on the end. It's called dithering. It's subtle fade ins and it's subtle fade outs for video and audio. All right, guess what? I think this intro is dialed. It is done. Look at it. Look sharp, look sharp, look sharp, look sharp. Boom. Swing dancing today. Done deal. All right. So here's what I would do. Nathan Fernandez, have you ever exported out a video clip? Or excuse me, have you ever exported out a timeline and compressed all the video clips together and made it one movie?
I have not.
Okay, this is a really important process that we're about ready to do, Nathan, so stick with me on this. Okay. So I want all of 5 of these layers compressed into one video clip that I can pop at the beginning of my timeline and have it as its own standalone intro. So if I go to the top where it says File, Share, Apple devices 1080p, this is how I'm going to export this out. Now I want to freeze it right there for a moment so that you guys can all see that and maybe even write that down. This is important. If I'm going to export out a timeline and compress it to a movie so I can pop it onto YouTube, it has to be compressed. You cannot put a Final Cut timeline onto your YouTube channel. You have to export it out as a movie. This is how I do it and how you can do it in Final Cut. Now, all the different video editors have a different type of export. Some of them will say it'll go File, Export, and then export as a QuickTime movie or export as a movie. Instead, Final Cut doesn't use the word export, they use the word share. So if I'm going to export out my film, I go File, Share, and everything that we've edited and completed is in 1080p. This is the most common form of video format that's used today. It's the wide angle, widescreen, high definition, 1080p. If you want to compress something down to a smaller video file size, but it's going to kill the quality, it makes it more pixelated, you could do 720. Now, if you shot in Cinema 4K and your camera clips were all Cinema 4K, and you want to export it Cinema 4K because you want an unbelievably rich, sharp video compressed. In fact, if I was to show this in a movie theater, I'd want it in Cinema 4K. But to show it on a large screen is one thing. To show it on a computer for YouTube is, you're very good with 1080p. So here we go. I'm going to click 1080p. It's asking me now, do I want to export it out? Yes, I do. and I'm going to call it my intro, and I'm going to put it to our folder that we're working on. We're working on the NTSC swing tutorial, and I'll put it into the period 1 tutorial, and I'm going to hit save. And now that's going to compress and send to my folder. Now, it takes time. Watch this. In the upper left corner, I just clicked on that little time box. It's at 82%, 87%. Oh, it's done. It's done. Because this is only 8 seconds long, it really only took about 8 seconds to finally complete compression. Okay? So let's take a look at where that might have gone. I'm going to go to my folder on the desktop. Oops, I don't have a folder open. I will open one now. I'm going to go to my folder on the desktop. You guys see that? Hayden Lai, can you see my folder on the desktop? Okay, so here's my NTSC swing folder, my period 1 folder that I saved it to, and there it is. Intro.m4v. .m4v is a video file. .mp4 is a video file. .mov is a video file. Those are all video files. It's just like an audio file. .mp3 is an audio file. .wav is an audio file. .aif is an audio file. They're all the same, just different qualities. So there's my intro. If I hit spacebar, there it is played, big screen. Looking great. I like it. So now that I have my intro, let's go back to Final Cut Pro. So in Final Cut Pro, I'm going to find my intro timeline, which is... Oh, wait a second. I don't even need my intro timeline. I need my body timeline. And now what I need to do is import that compressed video intro back into the browser. So I'm going to right click on the area, the gray area, hit import media, and choose my folder from the desktop. So I'm going to go to my folder on the desktop. There's desktop. My folder on the desktop is that NTSC swing tutorial folder. My period 1 tutorial folder. There's my video. I'm going to hit import selected. And there it is. All by itself. Video intro complete. Looks great. Okay. Gabriel Jimenez, check this out. How am I going to get my intro that I just compressed to the timeline, but have it bump everything forward so it inserts itself into the beginning? How am I going to do that?
Could you like compress the body video and then put the two together?
We could, but I still want to go back and do some editing on the body. I want to cut away the overhead clip. I want to throw a sound score on there, so I don't want to compress this out yet.
I'm not sure.
Okay, buddy, here's the good thing. This is a beautiful feature of Final Cut. It does what's called an insert edit. Watch this. If I grab that intro from the beginning, drag it to the timeline, watch. See how it wants to just pop on as a layer right now? You see that?
Yep.
Watch what happens when I drag it to the beginning. And down to the bottom. Oh, what did it just do? Did you...
Push everything back.
It pushed everything. That is awesome. Watch when I let it go. It did a full insert edit, and it kept everything all edited together and just pushed it forward. How rad is that? That is such a cool feature. So let's watch what we have in our timeline now. But hold on. I want to compress the view so that we can see everything on our timeline now. All right. Play ahead to the beginning. Let's play it. There's our intro. Lindy Hop, Carolina Shag, Boogie Woogie, Jitterbug, Swing Dancing Today.
If you look at the
Boom.
Lindy Hop, you'll see a couple just moving. They're constantly moving. They're always on the go. They go around in a circle, mostly clockwise, sometimes reverse. There's a lot of stops, a lot of spins, a lot of boogie-woogie steps. You use your whole body. So you kick, you use your arms, you use your hips, you use everything in your body to accentuate what you hear in the music.
I'd say we did a pretty good job so far, my friends. So, if I were to review, Giovanni, are you there?
Yeah, okay.
Right on, buddy. So what do we have left to do? We've got the intro. We've got Rob and all the B-roll clips edited. His audio's in Audio Prime, I believe. I'm going to hit the little audio meter and move my playhead here and check it. But I think we're looking pretty good. What is left to do as you just watch that? What else do we have to do?
Like an ending or...
Well, it does have an ending. It has an overhead clip of the ending, right? But what's going to give it more life? Because right now it's pretty flat with the intro with nothing. I can't hear anything.
Oh, audio?
Yeah, what audio?
I don't know. Oh, that one. Wouldn't you just double click it?
Yeah, well, so if I double click it, it'll play. In preview, if I hit play.
Drag it?
Yeah, so what do we call that? What is this audio track called? A sound score. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, sound score. So you said let's drag it. Okay, I'm going to drag it down to the timeline. Should I drop it there?
No.
Where should I go?
The bottom.
Yes. All the way past all the other audio and snap it to the beginning. That way it doesn't insert edit. See, if I popped it onto the video line, see how it wants to insert and push everything forward?
Yeah.
But if I go below the other audio layer, now it's doing what's called superimposed layering. So I drop it on there. Let's play from the beginning and see what we got. Giovanni, tell me what you think.
If you look at the Lindy Hop, you see a couple just moving. They're constantly moving.
What do you think?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like the original.
Sounds good, right? It's got a good vibe. It's got a good pace. Only when Rob starts talking right here, the sound score is too loud, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have to learn to do some dithering and fading it down, just keeping it as background music. And then when Rob stops talking, we'll bring it back up. And then we'll find an outro point to cut at, and we'll cut the sound score to that point. We'll throw some credits on the end. We still need to put a lower thirds box identifying who Rob is. And we'll put a transition on the end of the video clip. So we're going to do lower thirds box, credits, dipping the audio level, putting a transition on the end of the overhead clip, and we're done. That's going to take about 10 minutes tomorrow. So we'll wrap up everything tomorrow and have it complete.